You look so nervous. Hey everyone, I hate these. It's so awkward. You were saying it was okay.
We're looking at the. Where should we be looking?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, not the screen, right?
I love how we're photographers. We're like, where do we look?
Right. Okay,
we're like the worst photographers ever. Hey everyone, Jessica Kubasi here. In today's video, we have something really special. We have a guest, Alvyn, and he has done a lot of weddings with me, which is why I brought him into this video. I thought you have so much knowledge about weddings. You probably know more than me about weddings. So I wanted to get his input and his opinion. What did you do?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
Maybe I have more knowledge than her, maybe not. I don't know.
I really do think that you do. We'll find out in this video if you do. What kind of photographer are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Alvyn Maranan, wedding and portraiture photographer from Michigan, Metro Detroit. Yeah, I mean, I've done as many as close to 150 weddings.
You're doing a wedding like every weekend now.
So this is my 5th season, full-time, doing wedding photography.
So that's your full-time thing, though,
yes.
wedding photography.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I feel like I do more like portraits.
Fashion.
Yeah, but you're legit, like you do weddings full-time.
Weddings
that's
and, engagements.
Okay, so Alvin's just gonna have a lot more information than I do on this. Let's be honest, you guys. I mean, I do a couple weddings per year. You actually live and breathe weddings. I mean, I see
the bread and butter.
Sounds really good right now. So you guys asked a couple questions, and by a couple I mean at least 100, and we're gonna try to get through all of them on my Instagram. We're gonna try, right?
Sounds good.
So we're just gonna pick randomly some good questions and answer. And I'm gonna do a cool sound effect. No, I'm not. Okay, so let's get started with our first question. First question is, what would you suggest for someone who is starting out to do and have and to remember when shooting a wedding? Have at least more than one lens and more than, well, I only bring one body. One camera body. I don't know about you. You bring 2, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, of course, be prepared for the wedding. Definitely have all the information that you need for the wedding, the logistics, the schedule, timeline, the ideas, the vision that your client want. So definitely be prepared for those. And as far as gear, it all depends. If you want to shoot more of like the landscape feel of the wedding, of course, have a wide angle lens.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna be farther out from your clients during the ceremony or any of the portraiture, you know, make sure you remember to bring a longer lens so you're not having a hard time.
Like going back and forth.
Yeah, going back and forth and, you know, trying to get the close-ups without the longer lenses.
Especially, you know, like when they're like dancing, dance floor, you want to have a zoom lens maybe. At least if you have a second shooter, you can have one second shooter do a portrait lens and then have someone do wide angle. That's what I do.
Right, and you want to be as hidden and ninja style as much as possible, so you're not very noticeable and you're not, intruding.
Yes, you're not like trying to crash the wedding low key.
So,
like wearing bright pink at the wedding.
So definitely just be prepared and have fun.
For your normal wedding packages, how many photos do you heavily edit, lightly edit, and batch edit to give to a client? I never know how many is appropriate to do. For me, I do like 250. That's my max package, but it really depends on the photographer.
Everyone's different. I mean, for you, I feel like your work is a lot more heavily retouched in a good way. Yeah. Of course. In a good way. So, you know, 250 is a good number, I think, if you're definitely editing it high end. But for me, I don't know, every year my delivery, the amount gets larger and larger.
Oh, that's not
good. And I don't know if that's a good thing or maybe my wedding clients are getting better and better. So I'm delivering around 500 to 800 fully edited images.
So when you say fully edited, do you mean you add colors and then you give it to the client, or do you actually face retouch? Because that's what I do. I face retouch.
Yeah, no face retouch for me.
Okay.
Mine is more color correction, you know, white balance, exposure, contrast,
brightness.
sharpness. The basic stuff. With of course, the added touch of the signature color.
Yes, of course.
Style. So.
Next question is, where do you get your poses?
Poses. Oh man.
One of the most asked questions.
Oh man, where do I get my poses?
Magazines, Pinterest,
online. Yeah, Pinterest
Google.
is definitely a big.
You just type in wedding poses, really.
And there's a lot of books out there that's not online that teaches you and show you like the basics. So definitely, look into the history of posing and portraiture and the body structure of humans and stuff like that. And it helps a lot.
How do you help the couple smile more naturally so they're not cheesing?
Not cheesing.
I like that, not cheesing.
For me, I try to be as light-hearted approach as much as possible. That makes sense.
Just laugh a lot.
Yeah,
and smile.
Let them have fun. Let them be awkward together, and that's, I feel like, from my experience, some of the best shots and poses in motion is when you kind of let them be awkward together.
Don't try to dictate too much of what they do, I think.
Just let them be. But when things get too awkward and uncomfortable, then step in and just kind of.
Then you gotta be like, you guys
just kind of give direction.
Giving direction is a huge part of it too. But you don't want to give too much direction. When you give someone too much direction, I feel like they're gonna be like, okay, Jessica told me to do this and this and this, and they're gonna think about it too much.
Think about it too much. So definitely, let them have fun. But when things get too awkward, step in and give direction.
Someone asks, how do I talk to my clients because I'm really shy?
Like how? Like what do you mean? Like during
how
consultation or during the actual shoot or like what?
I don't know. They don't specify. But if I was to guess, I would say this is gonna be an issue. If you're asking this question, maybe it's an issue even before, like when you first meet your clients. And what I would just say is, don't take it too seriously. I mean, you want to treat your clients. I treat my clients like I would my friends, like a really good friend, and you want to take care of them. So don't think of it as, oh my God, I have to meet these people and they're hiring me. Just think about it as, we're just seeing if we're gonna work well with each other. You know?
Like normal if you were networking with, anyone.
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
Talk to them normally.
Don't freak yourself out. Don't overthink it, honestly. Okay, here's a good question. I'm sure you both had this issue. How do you approach a group of people and ask to take their picture at a party without it being awkward? Oh my God. This is my life.
What?
Do you know what I mean? When you're at a wedding and then you have like tables of people and you have to go to, in the groom and bride want like a picture of each table, and you have to take a picture of everyone sitting on the table. Okay, you guys don't even understand how many awkward instances I've had with this. Like if I ask people at the table to take a picture, sometimes no one will answer me. Sometimes people will stare at me like with weird looks. And then maybe one person will answer me and be like, oh no. So the only advice I can give to you on this is to literally just ask right away. If you think about it like, oh, I have to ask, it's gonna be like really uncomfortable. So I just literally go to each table. I'm like, would you guys like a picture? No? Okay, next table. And you just knock them out. I don't know, have you ever had to do this?
Yeah, I mean, there are, some of the guests, some tables they can be very awkward.
Yeah,
that's okay. And, for me, from my experience handling that, is just really explaining to them that, they're there for the bride and groom. And, those photographs are important to the bride and groom, and they want that later on. And it's their wedding.
I don't think they really think of it like that way. I think they think of it as like, oh my God, she wants a picture of me, rather than, oh my God, the bride and the groom want a picture of us, our family,
for memories.
80 years from now, when
there's a reason why there's a photographer there to take photos of everyone.
Yeah,
as much as possible.
Yes,
so.
But we all know that the camera is what gets the good pictures.
Right.
I'm just joking. I'm gonna get hate comments right now.
Just let the camera judge your images.
Someone would like an explanation of the consultation process. What do you bring? What info do you show them? How long does it usually take? What type of things do you discuss?
Consultation, everyone's different. Like I said in the beginning, definitely if you're meeting a client, be prepared. Have all your information.
Alvyn's so popular,
Sorry.
you guys. It's
Have
Beyonce. Calling.
Sorry. Yeah, be prepared. Have all the information that you want your clients to know about, and that will be, pricing, contracts,
examples of your work.
Turnaround time is very important.
Oh, I want to know how long it takes you to get the pictures back.
What they're spending their money on, and you want to be clear on those things so that they're satisfied at the end of the day and they trust you. The more information that you give them, the more knowledge that they can take in, the
less
more
issues you'll have.
Yeah, and the more they trust you.
Yes.
Because it's legit. So
I actually bring an iPad and I have everything in the iPad. Like I have photo sets that I show my clients, and it's easy to take with me. It's an iPad mini, and I just show them everything. And I feel like the more that you tell them at the meeting, the less issues you'll have down the road. So you're not going to have a client that's going to be like, oh, well, you actually didn't tell me about this. Or you could be like, oh, okay, believe that I did. So
just lay it all out at the consultation.
Yeah.
So,
it's like you're marrying this person. You're telling them all about your life, basically.
Pretty much.
One of the most asked questions on here is, what are the best lenses to start out with for weddings?
Oh man.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many choices. So.
Well, my top two are the 35 millimeter and then the 24 to 70. And the 35 just because it's a wider lens. So if I'm doing a couple session, I do the 35. And then when I'm at the reception, now I'm starting to use the 24 to 70 because it's a zoom lens.
Yeah. I think I pretty much agree. With your choice. I mean, the 24-70 is definitely very, very versatile.
Great lens.
I can shoot a whole wedding with a 24-70.
You really could, honestly. Yeah.
Like it has the wide that you want, that you need, and the zoom, it zooms out far enough for you to capture the farther things.
Yes.
And then, the 35 is also versatile. Great for low light.
Okay, another question. What do you give to a client when you're finalizing a shoot? How many images? Are they high resolution? Do you ever give out unedited photos?
Say that again one more time.
Famous question.
Yeah, I guess, like I said in the beginning, it depends how long the wedding is or the amount of time that you're shooting. Of course, the longer the day or the wedding,
the more
pictures. The more things they want, the more photos. So for me, like I said, I'm delivering like anywhere from 500 to 800 edited images, and that's color corrected, sharpness, contrast, brightness,
and they're all full resolution.
Yeah, full resolution. I usually deliver 300 by 3,000 by 3,000 pixels.
Wow.
300 DPI, and if my clients like a larger size, then I have no problem giving it out to them.
So you about to make a billboard?
Yeah, sure.
Do you give out unedited photos?
I do not. Yeah, I do not give out unedited photos just because I don't know if you guys realize how unedited photos look like in the camera. It's totally different
than what you think.
Than what the final product or what you see online.
Yeah, so we don't.
Like the images that we share is totally different.
Yeah.
So there's definitely, some tweaking, some adjustment that needs to be done with unedited photographs, and I don't think you'll be happy with them.
We really don't.
Yeah.
So you ain't getting them.
So, and it, when you give out unedited photos, clients hire you for that specific look and style, and you don't get that from the unedited photos, like color-wise or editing style. That's done after the wedding. That's added on to the photos to make it look good.
Yep.
So.
And my thoughts exactly.
Yeah.
How do you ask people to put their phones away when the bride is walking down the aisle?
From experience, definitely ask nicely.
Yeah, don't go in and start yelling at people.
Yeah, as much as possible. Usually that usually works most of the time. But if certain people give you a hard time, and the easiest way to really ask them to do that is ask the officiant to kind of send out the message, and usually
get on that microphone.
Yeah, and usually
everyone put your damn phones.
Yeah, the officiant usually have a better way of.
People will listen to them more than they listen to you, pretty much.
So.
You mentioned something earlier. I think when you bring the bride and groom into it, people are more compelled to listen to you.
Yeah, there's situations where some people don't want photos taken of them the day of the wedding, but if you let them know, if people are giving you a hard time getting their photographs, let them know that they're there for the bride and groom. That they're guests of the bride and groom, and they want those photos for memories, and that's why you're there for.
And they want those pictures.
Yeah, So
just do it for the bride and groom, basically. So if I'm in a situation where someone is giving me a hard time, they're like, no, I want to take this picture, I'll be like, the bride and groom really don't want any camera phones in their shots. I'll just bring up the bride and groom, and 90% of the time people will be like, okay, I don't want to make them angry.
Okay with it.
Yeah. So when you remove yourself from the situation and you say, hey, it's not, I don't care if you use your phone, but the bride and groom will, then you start changing that situation.
Yep.
So just blame them.
Just blame them. It usually works. Most of it, 90% of the time, yes.
Do some tear gas, pretty much. Where do you promote your business?
Promoting business, definitely online. A lot of my promotion happens online. Facebook, Instagram. Just being, consistent and constantly sharing work.
You have to keep posting your pictures.
Yeah, it's stressful and time consuming, but it's just part of the job. It's part of the industry.
Honestly, it is pretty much a job.
Yeah.
And promoting your work. A lot of my clients will be like, oh, I found you on Instagram. A lot of my clients now. And a lot of the models that I work with, when I'm shooting with models, will be like, oh yeah, I checked out your Instagram. Some of them don't even know that I have a website. You know that? Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
So I think Instagram is a really big driving force. I think it's even bigger than Facebook. What do you think?
Photos, maybe. A lot of my inquiries happens and comes from Facebook though. So it's
a little bit
similar.
of both.
Yeah. So but definitely online. Being online and sharing online all the time is definitely the best way.
Tagging people, mentioning companies, brands.
So, everyone's online.
And dress designers, tagging dress designers, it's crazy. They will sometimes repost you, so that's also a good idea. What is the best lighting to use for wedding and engagement sessions?
Well,
we could be here all day talking about that.
Oh man, this is like a large topic. But anyways, to keep it simple, I shoot 90% of my work with natural lighting. Yeah. So, and I definitely look for soft, natural light. The softer it is, the more appealing, the more your client will glow. Their skin tone look better. It's more consistent.
It's like a more romantic, dreamy kind of look.
It's timeless. You can't get any other feel from natural light.
I think the go-to type of lighting for me is natural light, but I usually shoot shade or backlit sometimes. But I will never I'll do backlit only for a couple shots.
Sure.
Most of the time it's shade for me. I don't even try to do direct sunlight with wedding clients. That's for a specific type of client, and I would usually only do direct sun if the sun is setting. So be very careful. I just look for shaded areas, honestly. It's your best bet.
Shade, soft lighting.
You want that soft light.
For as far as backlighting, there's situations to use backlighting. Let's say you have to shoot at afternoon time, like noon,
Yeah.
where the sun is like literally
here.
above you, you know, and you don't want the client facing the sun because their eyes will be squinting, and you know, it's just it's harsh, it's harsh light. So you know, backlighting comes in handy in those situations.
Yeah, and you really want to be careful of where the sun is positioned. Shoot based on that. How do you give the final photos to your clients?
Lately, I've been doing digital downloads for final product delivery.
So you don't give them prints?
I do not.
Oh, I give my clients prints.
I only deliver digital.
Yeah, it must be so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, not easy, but it must be like a simpler process rather than
it's so much easier.
Pictures.
Before I was delivering and mailing out USBs and discs, but it takes longer. But with digital download, I'm using CloudSpot. You can upload all the final product there, high resolution. It'll be the same exact thing if you send them a disc, same quality. You know, it'll be password protected, and they can access it anytime. They can view the gallery. They can download the whole folder, and you know, with CloudSpot, they can order prints directly from the gallery. So it's very convenient.
Awesome, that's awesome.
It's easy.
I use PixieSet. I think it sounds kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I give my client, I think they're all kind of the same concept. But I just got used to using that, and I give my clients prints. My clients really, really want prints. They want albums, which is backtracking to the previous questions. It just is dependent on your market. You're gonna have clients that want that kind of stuff, and some clients who are okay with digital files.
Just digital files with printing rights, you know.
Yes.
So
it really just depends. So you just ask your client, customize packages, do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my clients are able to download all the full resolution wedding photos through PixieSet.
So, but definitely have the options for prints and albums, you know,
100%.
in case they decide to order those later.
Yep.
So,
the last couple questions. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, this is a very famous question. How do you tolerate rude people and continuously increasing family photos?
Oh man.
Of our favorite question.
You know, definitely ask them nicely to, you know, kind of chill out if they're rude, you know, in a very nice way as much as possible, and usually they're okay with it. And then, you know, increasing number of family photos. For me, from my experience, having a list of family photo names or the group shots that the bride and groom want, it makes everything easier.
Well, how I deal with rude people and, you know, increasing family photos, the first thing, I just smile a lot and I just laugh because, I don't know, I'm really awkward. I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, I'm just here taking photos. I'm just doing my job. So when you put yourself in the position like, okay, I'm doing my job. Love me or hate me, I gotta keep taking these photos. Right. Don't take it personally. You're just there to finish your job and leave.
Yeah. I mean, take it personally, you're gonna be crying.
You're gonna be crying.
Day.
Yeah.
There's some rude people out there, guys.
This is no Willy Wonka factory, chocolate factory. And then the increasing family photos, all I have to say to that is it's gonna happen. People are going to add themselves to the picture. You might be taking family photos for 2 hours and really you can't say anything because the bride and the groom are paying you and it is your job to take photos. It's not you don't have the right to dictate what photos are taken and who can be in the picture and who can't be in the picture.
Right.
I've heard some stories of photographers who are like, okay, no, you're not immediate family, you can't take pictures. Like, who are you to say that who's allowed in a picture and who's not? You don't know the relationship of that person to the bride and the groom. So that's one thing I learned. Never say no to anyone a guest at the wedding. Don't say no.
And if you're unsure, you know, it's okay to go to the bride and groom and ask to double check, you know, if it's okay or not. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. But
you don't want to be in the position. I mean, I'm sure you had people come up to you and they're like, "Oh, take a picture of me and my husband."
Yeah, and that's fine.
Don't say no. Do not do it because if you and your wife want a picture at a wedding and you ask the photographer and the photographer says no, the first thing you're gonna think, what a jerk, what a horrible person. Why don't you want to take my photo? It's your job. You should be.
you're there. Yeah, it's your job to take photos.
It's your job to take photos. You can't pick and choose.
For.
Yeah. So, and you don't know if the bride and groom want a picture. What if that's their best friend?
Right.
And you just told their best friend no. Then they're gonna go to the bride and the groom and start talking about you.
Yep, and those bad reviews online, it's terrible.
They know 15 people who start writing bad stuff about you. So it'll have a bad connotation to you. You don't want that. If for any reason, that it's like, let's say it's a slow dance, bride and groom slow dance, and someone's like, hey, we need a picture, and you're in the middle of doing something important, instead of saying no, what I would recommend is just to be like, hey, sure, I can take your photo, just give me a couple of seconds, I just need to get a couple of the bride and groom. Always mention bride and groom. It's psychological. Honestly, just use psychology. So if someone's like, hey, take a picture of me and my baby, her first tooth is coming out or something, just be like, oh, great, I will definitely get that photo for you. Right now, I have to take pictures of the bride and the groom cutting the cake. I'll get back to you as soon as we're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the secret to it.
Go with
really.
the flow and say no. Just kidding. Always say yes.
Always say yes. Unless it's like a weird request.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then say no if it's getting a little awkward. But as far as family photos go, I mean, I think you're pretty good with that. You organize everyone and you just keep taking pictures. Yeah,
family photos group-wise, the easiest way from my experience to kind of organize them is asking for the bride and groom for a list of names of the members, family members they would like in the group shots.
The pictures, combinations.
It goes by faster, and so that you don't miss anyone important. So, and it helps.
Actually, that's great. Always ask the bride and groom, hey, is there any specific person you want a picture with?
Yep.
And then, do you like to use second shooters at weddings? And normally, and if so, do you normally just use a friend or actually go out and hire someone?
I like to have a second shooter at my weddings.
Me too.
When
100%
possible.
better.
Yeah, it's more fun.
Yeah.
So you actually have someone to talk to and just kind of hang out with, you know what I mean? And of course, that with the second shooter, there's more chance of you getting, like a different angle of the day, different perspective, and that's always neat. It's
less stressful for you.
Yeah, and there's always help there when you need help.
Exactly. Yep. So. You run out of batteries, or another thing is that if you miss a shot, they might have gotten that shot. Like slow dance or kissing or whatever, they might get that shot.
And it might not be for everyone, but for me, I enjoy having a second shooter.
And I actually hire people who are strictly wedding photographers to be my second shooters. I don't hire just a friend. I actually hire someone who has the same style as me, and who isn't a good photographer, in my opinion. So
sure,
that's why you work with me. Let's see. Any tips on shooting in a church? Any do's and don'ts?
Man, do's and don'ts. Definitely.
Put your phone on silent.
Yeah, put your phone on silent. Get a lowdown or a list of the rules of the churches is very important. Ask the pastor, definitely the building, to make sure that you know all the rules and regulations, so you're not like being rude, or you're not going in a room where you shouldn't be. So just make sure that you have idea of those things. And as far as church, I mean, lighting wise, some churches allow flash photography. And it's
I've never been in a church that allows.
It's cool when they do, of course, because you get better lighting, because churches are usually darker in light. But when they don't allow flash photography, that's when the prime low light lenses and
the 35
and high ISO cameras
are really gonna help.
Yeah, are really gonna help. So
God bless.
FYI on those.
That's all we went with. What kind of lighting do you use for indoor, like especially if it's like a darker lit wedding? What flash light methods should one use? I just use an external, like a on-camera flash. Really, honestly, that's all I use.
Bounce it up if possible.
Point
it at the ceiling, just so that everything is softer, more natural. So I mean, really, that's the simplest, easiest, lightest way to kind of light a room up.
And I've
So-
tried to use off-camera flash. Like I've had an umbrella and
Mhm.
everything, and it was a nightmare. I'm not even gonna lie.
I mean, you know, having and setting up, you know, multiple flashes is awesome.
Yeah, if you're good at that, go for
But
it.
it takes a lot of time, and it's heavy, and it's
And it
it's a
could
lot of
fall.
equipment. So if you have time, cool. But when, you know, there's no time and you're crunching, then off camera, I mean, a flash on your camera.
Most simple way to do it, and
Yeah,
I think it
that'd be
still
the
gets
best
really
way.
nice results
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
long as you use the flash the right
Mhm.
way.
Yep.
So I feel like we answered a lot of questions today. We tried to get through all of them and just kind of like talk about the most general things that people have been asking us.
Real world situations.
Situations, people
Yeah.
being rude to us.
And you know this, you know, we're telling you this from our experience, and this
Exactly.
is what we experienced with, you know,
Yes.
with clients, our job, our, you know, being at a wedding, being hired as the photographer, and you
Yes.
know, dealing with those clients
Firsthand, together,
So,
because we've done weddings together.
Mhm.
So let us know if you have any other questions for us, or if you just want to say hello. And I hope that this was helpful for you guys. A huge thank you to Alvyn for coming out and being in this video and giving us his first-hand view, because I know you've done so many weddings, so thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome.
And-
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
So-
And I'm gonna have a link to Alvyn's work and his Instagram if you guys want to tell him, hey, what's up? So check that out. And again, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.
Peace.